Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Let's Play BattleTech Advanced 3062 with no fair fight. Today I want to talk about the Marauder, and while talking about it, why not get one? Because we have enough parts to build one. We can build a Royal Marauder, which is not a Marauder that is in the technical readouts, although it is a Marauder that we can build here. The question is where it... Oh, no, I have to buy the part. Okay, I have to buy the part. Should be no problem, though, because we can buy that in the store. One part is missing. This is, by the way, the 5S is the upgraded version of the Marauder. That's the one with the 2 ERPPCs, the 2 medium pulse lasers, and the Gauss rifle. This is not, I repeat, not the normal Marauder that you might encounter while playing BattleTech in any other form than this game. We make the Royal Marauder a thing, although I'm not a fan of the Marauder, and I will tell you why in a minute. It was the poster child of the BattleTech series, or franchise, until they lost the rights for the machine. That is, by the way, the reason you don't find this machine a lot in the technical readouts. There are, I think, only 2 technical readouts that show the thing. That is the very, very old 3022, and that is the Phoenix Revival one. We ally with the faction because then we get access to their store, which is beautiful. As you can see now, we have the faction store, and besides all the stuff we can buy, we can theoretically buy another Marauder. So we could theoretically run double Marauder here if we want to. We have the coin. We, however, will buy the parts of the Thunderbolt because I'm a total fan of the Thunderbolt, not so much of the Marauder, although the Marauder is more heavy, although the Marauder has considerable firepower. I'm not a big fan of this machine. Not sure if it comes from the chicken, but, well, that's how it is. I think we'll get rid of the Trebuchet first-hand thing, because the charm of the Trebuchet is over. Yes, we put money into that thing to make it viable, but let's be honest, the time of the Trebuchet is over. I'll put that thing into storage and get ourselves the Thunderbolt ready to run. Excellent. So we have an Orion, a Hyperpolis, a Black Knight, and one more part. If we find 2 more parts in another store, we can build another one of those beautiful machines. So with that being said, let's go to war. I mean, that's what we're here for. We'll destroy a base, which is an excellent idea. We're up against the Rim Collection, which is an excellent idea. We should be giving our best gunner the Mad Cat, because that is what it's all about. You are driving the Enforcer. That is okay. You are a good shot. You're not so good shot, so you stay with the Centurion. You are a pretty good shot, and you're pretty fast, so I will give the Thunderbolt to you, because an Archer will not make sense with Tactic Skill 2. Oh boy. Oh boy. Okay, you'll get the Archer because you're the best in indirect firing, although your gunning skill are really leaking. The Firestarter will be changed in for the Griffin. I'm not sure if I want to leave out the Centurions, but the Enforcer 3 is simply the better machine. There is no way around that. We could forget about the Wolverine and change the Wolverine in for the Centurion, which I think is a good idea. With that being said, I think that is pretty much it. Let's see each other on the field. And here we go. So first we'll talk about the pure technical data. The Marauder is a bird-like mech with 75 tons of weight. What do I mean by bird-like? I mean the legs are folded backwards, and it also looks not very human when you look at it. So think of you've barely seen, or you've most likely seen a Mad Cat before you've seen a Marauder, and there is a reason that thing is called Mad Cat, by the way. It's not because it is named after a crazy cat, it's because the targeting computer of the person that first encountered and survived the machine's attack was stringing between a Marauder and a catapult, because it looks like a child of the both. So if they both would be engaged with another and have a baby, that's what it would look like, basically. The Marauder has a walking speed of 4, a running speed of 6, and a jumping speed of no, sir. This is the 3D version, by the way. The first version you encounter in the technical readouts, and that is most... Ooh, what is that? An assassin! Okay, there is no way that I can fire on anyone. What a shame, what a shame. Well, I can fire on that guy. It has 16 heat sinks, and it needs them all, trust me. It has 11.5 tons of armor, which is okay. It's not really that great, considering the weight of the machine. There are other machines in the same weight category that are better armored. For example, the Orion. Its armament consists of 2 PPCs, 2 medium lasers, and an autocannon 5. So that's the standard Marauder. Now you might think, Boris, that doesn't sound that impressive. I mean, let's be honest. A Warhammer has the same firepower. There are other machines that have even more firepower for less weight. And that is true. The machine is not overly well armored. This machine is not overly well armed, although it sounds like a lot. 2 PPCs. There are other machines who carry the same. Firepower and are not as renowned as the Marauder is. The Marauder itself is a very, very old machine from the Star League era, and it was designed as a command and frontal assault machine. Please keep in mind that this is a very single-purpose mech, so he is not good at anything but just walking forward and firing at people. He has a good firing arc, that is true. And with that very good firing arc, he's able to do a lot of damage to other people, just like a Warhammer would or an Awesome would. So it's not that this thing is a jack of all trades. It has no hands, it just has 2 arms, and they're not really built for close combat because your main weapons are in there. So while you can use them as clubs and club other people into oblivion, I would not recommend doing so. What is a little bit sad is that the enemies don't have anything we're interested in at the moment. So we can see an assassin is useless to us, a Kintaro is useless to us, whatever that is pretty much useless to us, and I'm not even thinking what that is, but I don't think it's any good for us anyway. Okay, with that being said, we're just going forward and we'll rain death on them. So this is the normal Marauder. You might imagine that this thing has heatsink problems. Obviously. So, what did they do? Well, there is a variant. We're just talking about the MRA3D. There is the D3D, which is Deviant's answer to the heat problem. And they put down the autocannon on top, because that is like a turret on top of the machine, and give him a large laser instead. And 4 additional heat sinks. But let's be honest, that makes the problem worse, not better. There is another version of House Marek that drops the PPCs completely and exchanges them with large lasers. And additional armor, so that thing goes up to 16 points of armor in the old system. And 2 additional heat sinks. A little bit less firepower than with the PPCs, but not a lot. Let's be totally fair here. That is not a lot less firepower. The biggest problem is a flea. Oh boy, loot is terrible these days. Okay, I think I shoot at the assassin. That is all small rubbish. It's not even worth my time, is it? No external, no afterwards explosion. Interesting. So there is another version that is Liao's approach to the thing, and that is the 3L, and that is a middle thing. Nothing right, nothing wrong. It changes not 1 of the PPC, not 2 of the PPCs, but just 1 to a large laser, and 1 additional heat sinks, and increases the armor to 200 points in the old system. Problem with that is basically that the system, the targeting system, now has 2 different weapons to coordinate, the large laser and the PPC, and one in the one arm and one in the other arm, and it doesn't do that very well. So, ooh, he's in full... Oh, look at that. Most of his weapons are out of the way anyway, so I think we can fire away at that guy. You know, get machines off the field, that's the idea. But he's still alive. Tough nut. The real sad thing is that there is nothing we can use because that is all rubbish. I was hoping for another heavy machine or something. I think we should start clubbing those guys. So this is the old Marauder. As I mentioned, don't look for it in your technical readouts, because the chances are that you will not find them for very obvious reasons, because they will not be there, because their FASA, I think it was, lost the rights to the machine, and so they cannot be printed. So there are only 2 technical reads, maybe one more, but I'm not entirely sure. Technical readout where this machine is actually in. And you're out. Yeah, that's useless anyway, because that thing is not worth anything. There is, of course, an upgraded version of this machine. And that is the MAD-5L. I mean, we're talking 3062 after all. Wow! This fleet did damage to me, more than the other, more heavy machines. So I think we'll return the favor. Can we? Can I return the favor? Oh yes, I can. Let's hope I hit, because then the fleet is history instantly. I hope I didn't hit my own guys. Yeah, that should have hurt a lot. So this Marauder is very special. Wow, I think they executed him for incompetence. Okay. He has a walking speed of 4, running speed of 6, no jump jets, but he's got triple strength minimum. That means in theory, this machine could, with all rights and purposes, outrun a dragon, or run as fast as a dragon can run. So that's pretty fast. That thing can hunt scouts. However, it's triple strength minimum, so you have to be hot, although with all these weapons it's not that hard to get hot in the first place. With that being said, it has 18 double heat sinks. 18. That means that thing cools 36 units of heat every turn. Holy cannoli. Now you might think, Boris, that is more heat than anyone can produce. Yeah, no, well, there is, trust me, there is things that can produce enough heat to overload even this thing. It has 14 tons of armor, which concludes in a total armor value of 224 points, which is excellent. Its armament consists of 2 extended range large lasers, 2 extended range medium lasers, an extended range PPC, a Guardian ECM suit, and the triple strength minimer. So this machine is beautiful. Beautiful. However, yeah, keep in mind that this is the 3062 version, or 3050 version it is. Not entirely sure, but this is a very late version, so don't compare that to the first version, because of course they have totally different technology at their disposal. Now you might ask, Boris, what is so special about this machine? Well, for one, there is one very, very special person who rides one of this machine, and that is the bounty hunter. And think of this guy like Boba Fett on drugs. That guy is insane. I mean, as soon as the clans showed up, he switched his Marauder for a Mad Cat. He got himself a Mad Cat. How many people can say that of themselves? Not a lot, I assure you. We're a little bit exposed. We should be vigilanting just because, you know, we can. Was that enough to make him fall over? Nah, it was not. I hope the guy doesn't go into close combat, because that would be really harmful. So, and he's very, very famous in the books. There are a lot of Marauders. And there is even a story about a person that got an entire army of Marauders and just used them in conjunction to be as maraudering as humanly possible. Which did work to a degree. But then they outmaneuvered them and had them in a bad firing arc, and then they finished them all off. Please keep in mind that the real selling point of the Marauder is the fact that he has an excellent firing arc, because the heavy weapons, the PPCs, are in his arms with arm activated. So he has a very, very wide firing arc. That's his main selling point. The Marauder that we have, well, the two Marauder parts that we have, one of them, if you remember, was the 2R version. Crap, I really have to jump down here. Is that possible? I can sprint. Okay, let's do that. One of them was the version that is not really outside this mod. I think that is the version that the Royal Guard would use, or the Highlanders, for that matter. And oh, damn it. Oh, he's out. One salvage part. Oh boy. We're getting out of this mission here empty-handed for sure. Okay, can you just sprint forward and find out what we're up against? Okay, there is one sniper turret with PPCs. There is another PPC turret. I think the PPC turret gets it. And the main selling point of the Royal Marauder, the reason why we use it after or over the normal Marauder that we have, the 5S version, is that it has the quirk of the Royal Guard, meaning this thing can sink additional 12 heat each turn. That's the only reason. Besides that, of course, the 5S would be the better choice, because he's got extended range PPCs, and he's got extended range, he's got pulse lasers, 2 of them, and he's got a ghost rifle where we have an AC5, and I would take a ghost rifle every time about an AC5. Of course, who would not do such a thing? Okay, we should not be here, because then we're hitting our own machine. We should be up there and gunning that thing down. Oh, we're not close enough. Now we are. Okay, that's a little bit tricky, because we might be able to hit our own machine. The Cicada is normally a machine that can take a lot of punishment. That is very strange, because in the normal game it cannot, but here it can. Well, that is the Thunderbolt for you. Forget about the Marauder. Yeah, the version that we have of the Marauder is a very, very good version, because of the additional 12 heat sinks. We can make our Marauder into a 5S, but we cannot make the 5S into a Royal Marauder, because you cannot take out the quirk. With that being said, why do I don't like the Marauder? Because I think the Marauder can do nothing that another mech cannot do, and it is a pure assault mech. Well, it's not an assault mech in terms of weight, but it's an assault mech in terms of build and distinction. He cannot do anything else than that. He's a one-trick pony. And he's not able to defend himself very well in close combat, even though he has arms, because the arms are too valuable with the extended range PPCs and all that. So yeah, I see that as a liability, Not enough to take it down, though. Okay, can we sprint forward? We can. Metal to the paddle. So I would not give my players this machine simply because it fixes them in a point. Yes, it's cool to drive a machine who has 2 PPCs and an AC5 on top, but take a Warhammer. Take a Warhammer. Would make you more happy, I guess. It would make me more happy. It can take more damage. It has the same speed. What's the point? Oh, I will not do enough damage to kill that thing. We do not do enough damage. Oh boy, we're not doing enough damage to any of those. That is a shame. Yeah, this range is a problem. Point taken, point taken. But we'll destroy the lasers in no time. Look at this, look at this. This Marauder is simply too slow. Yes, we can build an XL reactor in and then pump the speed a little bit and make this machine a little bit more versatile. But in the end, let's all be honest to ourselves. The Marauder is a rare machine. It's an iconic machine. It's a good-looking machine. But it has nothing that others don't have. Except for the reputation of being a Marauder. In my eyes. Would I play one in the tabletop? Of course I would play one in the tabletop. It is a heavy mech that carries a lot of weapons. I would take every mech I can get. And out of the mechs available, he's not the worst. That is true as well. But if you put him in this category, I mean, that is 75 tons for you, right? Would I take the Orion? Yes, because he's better armored. Would I take the Warhammer or the Archer? And the Archer is a little bit lighter. The Warhammer is even lighter than this machine by 5 tons and is still more deadly, at least in my eyes. Although, of course, the pilot is more famous of the Marauder. Well, the Warhammer was driven by Natasha Kerensky, which is also an extremely good pilot. But I would prefer the Warhammer still. Less armor, though, but more weapons. So that's the Marauder for you. A nice machine, no question. A capable machine, no question. And not a very versatile machine. Sadly, also no question. He just takes it. Look at that. We go up and we fire. That was a very, very short mission with very, very little resistance. But we have an entire Cicada, which is not my dream machine, but it's a machine nonetheless that we can use. Yeah, we'll go over here and destroy that thing. I think we should be able to take that thing down with all the additional firepower. How many hit points does it have? 100. Yeah, let's pump that up. And give it hell. Yeah. Fast mission. No damage to us. Perfect. Not happy though. Not happy. Because loot was bad. Experience, however, was great. We could take the Kintaro, because he's the machine that will be more worth in the end. And we don't need the Cicata anyway. When we look at the weapons, is there anything we need? No, not really. We got all the machines. So will I be buying more of those Marauders? Nah. I took the Royal Marauder because it has the Royal Marauder quirk, but the machine itself is not appealing to me. Simply not. You can become that. That is beautiful. You're perfect. Lord Darky is perfect. Static. I could make you in this direction. That would be good to make him faster in the end. We have to train Prickleback. We have to train this guy because at the moment he is no use and will need additional pilots as soon as our next drop pod is ready to go. So I'll end it here, and next time we'll talk, I think, about the Warhammer for good reason. See you all then. Bye.